You are listening to the AMZ Show, where you can learn the strategies and techniques we implement to build multiple streams of passive income online, generating millions of dollars in revenue last year alone. To get some of our free training videos, just go to amzshow.com and we will send you our quick start guide for free.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how does it work when you find the right product. You know what you're going to sell. Everything that we teach you in the course. Now at this point, if you haven't got the free training video showing you exactly the process to get started, just go to amzshow.com. But today we're going to be talking about exactly how the process works. So if you've never internet marketed, if you have no idea how to find a product, you have no idea what to sell, but you might have a business that you already own. You might just need to learn how to market your existing business. All of these things tie in together. It all ties back in. So first thing we're going to talk about today is how does Amazon fulfillment work? A lot of people, they know that Amazon is the #1 sales platform in the world. They know that Amazon sells more products than anybody. But the truth is, what Amazon is actually doing is leveraging people just like you, with families like yours. And what they're doing is people are finding the products, they're putting them on Amazon, and then Amazon is a facilitator. So today, how many questions? We got tons of questions.
We got so many. It's about how the average person can get started on Amazon and start selling there.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize is that Amazon is just the facilitator of the sale. Yes, Amazon does have their own products that they've already white labeled, or they're selling products for other people, but the vast majority of sales on Amazon are just from regular people. And a lot of people don't know how that works. And, you know, you and I, we've been doing Amazon. We know how it works, but a lot of people, they get hung up on the fact that, see, I read a bunch of the questions. You were telling me you got a bunch more too about the same thing, that how does Amazon, you know, people think that when it says Amazon FBA, that they're actually buying from Amazon.
Exactly. And I don't even think that many know how great the Amazon FBA is as a system.
No, and they don't, because people don't realize that most of the products sold on Amazon are actually by individuals, by people just like us that launch products, they private label them. And that's why the primary focus, because most people, they always ask me like, well, okay, I find the right product, I know what to sell. But they don't realize that that's also just a process. You see, the three things that we always talk about, does it sell well? Can I compete? Are the margins there? Once you find that product, Amazon actually takes over the entire facilitation of selling that product. From the time that all you need to do, you send that product to the Amazon warehouse. Once you've done that, Amazon has your product. So now your product goes live on Amazon. Then what happens is average people all over the country buy that product online. And what's cool is Amazon does all the customer service, all the fulfillment, all the shipping, all the customer service. They handle everything from start to finish. And that's what I love about Amazon, because, you know, me being an internet marketer, I love this stuff. And I love just building businesses online and doing that stuff. But for the average person, if you're just starting out, Amazon is the way to get started, because when you see Amazon FBA, all that stands for is fulfillment by Amazon. And a lot of people don't get that. And I've heard it all the time, that people think that when they buy something on Amazon, that they're buying it from Amazon, that Amazon is the one selling it to them. Now, yes, they're facilitating the sale, but the vast majority of sales that take place on Amazon are of products that people like us are submitting, people in our inner circle. Well over 1,000 people in our inner circle, they do exactly what we teach. They find the product based on the Amazon product finder, right? So if you are thinking, how do I do this? I mean, we have a podcast all about it, but if you were to go to amazonproductfinder.com, it actually helps you. You put in the criteria. You say, and this is my criteria, I want to see products that have less than 50 reviews. I want to see products that are already selling well. And I don't want to see just one person that does 10,000 sales a month. I want to see a lot of people, at least 4, 5, 6 people that are selling well. Now, what's my definition of well? My definition of well is that they're at least doing at least a few thousand, right? And if you see several people doing at least a few thousand, so that means that you can compete. That means, are the margins there? Now that's another formula. Are the margins there is a little bit different. So what we're looking for might be a little different than what the average person's looking for, because now we're experienced and we've been selling on Amazon. So we might look for a little higher margin, but we're also, if we're going to invest just a small amount of money, so think of it like this. If you invest a lot of money, you might be able to take smaller margins.
Right. We've used the example of a bouncy house before.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you haven't listened to it, maybe it's 10 episodes ago, right?
Right. I think
that we talked
That's a good example. It is.
It's a great example because, so that's the high end. Let's talk about that, right? That's the high end.
Like a high ticket item. How do you determine a good margin if you have a high ticket item?
Well, just like we were talking about, right? If you spend $80 for the bounce house and you can make just 2.5 times your money, that's pretty good. If we're talking about a product that you buy for $1, like we want much higher margins because for you to, and everybody's different. That's why like so many people ask us like, what's the right margin? And that's like a personal question because if you don't have a lot of money to invest, you might be better off to buy something that you could buy for $1, $1.50, $2. You might only sell it for $7, $8, $9, right? You have really high margins, but you're not really generating a ton of income. But to some people, a couple thousand a month is great. So if your goals are a couple thousand a month, but you don't have a lot to invest, then you might want to start on the low ticket items.
What are the margins you're looking at usually?
So for me, I'm more looking at margins where I know if I buy a product, if there's going to be a ton of sales, then I'll take less margins. And I don't have to guess on that because when I go through the process, everything that we teach, everything that the inner circle's already doing, it's kind of like there's a point where you say, okay, at this point, I have more money to invest. So to me, humbly, like I have more money to invest, right? So I would accept lower margins knowing that I'm going to sell a lot more. Now, if I'm just starting out, I'm going to look at products that have higher margins without much more to invest, just to kind of learn the process, right? And both of us, like we have a ton of products right now in the works that we're already having sourced and we're working on them. But that's because we already know the process. We already know what to do. So sometimes you have to take a step back. And that's why I love doing these shows, because we're showing the average person how to do it. People in the inner circle that are up and running, they're already making a really good income. For them, it's a little bit different. And that's why all the questions that we get, it's like there's no cookie cutter answer. And, and it frustrates me because a lot of times, like, there is cookie cutter answers. You just say, just do. Our entire process is just like there's an answer for everything.
Exactly.
But when it comes to finding the right product, that's a personal decision because everyone's working with a different amount of money. Some people can invest a little more. Some people only have $1,500, $2,000 to invest in product.
So for anyone listening now, let's start with 2 scenarios for an average person and then someone that has a little bit more capital to invest. Now, let's say you're starting over and you only had $1,500 to invest. What would you do?
Yeah, and that's a good question, right? Because that's the way that people should ask the questions, because all the questions we get is like, what margins do I need?
Right, and it depends on everyone's own situation.
That's right, because if you're, if you've been working hard, you have some money in the bank, you're in a much different position than someone that's just starting out. And that first $1,500 could mean everything to them, right? So you want to invest that strategically based on where you're starting from. Right. So just to give the audience a general idea. So let's just say I'm starting with $1,500. If it was me and I was starting brand new and I had a mentor that was just like us, that could guide us through the process and understand that, okay, if I invest this $1,500, I need to know what is the entire process. And that's why I love the inner circle, because everyone in our inner circle, they're all in different positions. They all launch different products. They all are like looking for different margins. But to answer your question about if I was starting over and all I had was $1,500 to invest in product, what I'd be looking at is I'd be looking at stuff between $1 and $2. I would go really low.
Really, that low?
I would, only because like I want to grow that money faster.
Right.
And I'll facilitate a bunch of sales like through the Amazon FBA.
And then reinvest back in.
Then exactly, right? Because and you already know how I operate, right? Because I don't want to just look at products that are on the very cheap end, because then I have to sell tens of thousands a month to make a really good profit. And that's definitely doable. But the problem is that at some point with those returns that you generate, you're going to want to elevate, right? Maybe buy something for, so let's answer it very clearly so everyone understands. Let's say I'm starting with 1,500. If I was starting with just 1,500, I would want between the $1-$2 range, only for the reason of, because I would not invest that money in a product that I couldn't at least buy between $1 and $2, but sell it for over $10. Like some people say, well, is it 5X? Is it 6X? So it would depend on the product. If I knew it sell well, I knew I can compete, and I knew that, so margins are what we're talking about right now. If I knew my margins could be 5, 6, 7%, if it was investing that small amount of money, then that would seem like a good deal to me.
Right.
Because once I do that, then I could focus on that. I could learn the process. I can go, say I'm not me, the one that's leading the entire mastermind and leading the entire students. Let's just say that I knew nothing about the process, but there was another guy named Mike that was teaching me the process. But I knew how to figure out the margins. I would start over. I would start with $1,500, say add 1,000, say add 2,000, right? Depends what you're working with. There's products that you could buy that sell really well. I'll give you guys an example. I was in China. It was about maybe 4 China trips ago. And I saw these really cool shaker bottles, you know, the fitness shaker bottles, but they had 2 compartments on the bottom. So you unscrewed one. Yeah,
I've seen those.
Yeah,
they're actually really cool.
They are way cool. And you figure on the low end, they sell about $8, the high end, maybe $15. I don't worry about competition because I know that that's just a process too.
Right.
Outranking everyone, getting on the first page of Amazon, figuring out how to get reviews, figuring out how to get it to Amazon.
And that's what the course is for.
Yeah, and that's what we love doing, right? Is like, because all of that is just a process. The part that requires thought is like, what product do I start with? So that's why we show you how to find the right product based on your situation. So if your situation is that you only have $1,500 to invest in product, if your situation is that you have $10,000 to invest in product, your thought process is going to be a little bit different. Because there is something to be said too, that if you had more money to invest, maybe buying something $8, $9, $10 that you could sell for $50, $60, right? Maybe it only sells for $30, right? But so it might only be 3 times the margin of what you invested, but at least, you know, like you're talking about a sizable amount of money that you receive per sale.
That makes sense.
But if you're on the low end, like let's stay focused on the 1,500 for a second. So let's say you only had that. You need to grow that money before you worry about how am I, because people will say, well, when do I know when to do that, right? It's like, it's based on there's not a cookie cutter formula for what you're starting with, how much you can invest. But there is a cookie cutter formula for going through the process. So that same $1,500, I personally, like, that's why I love those shaker bottles, because they were a good example. They were about 90 cents.
Oh, wow.
And 8, 9, 10, even up to $15. And they were cool because the bottom is like where you put the protein. The second level, you put all the supplements. And then the top was the actual shaker. And it was cool, like, because, you know, like a lot of what I do is like in the, you know, like weight management kind of field. So when I saw these, it's like, you know, it might not be for me, but this would be an amazing start for someone, because to me, to only make that small margin per sale, like at this point. But we're talking about if I was just starting
out, right?
So let me pretend that I haven't sold tens of thousands of product on Amazon. Let's say I never sold a single product on Amazon. So let's go back to that, right? So I buy it for 90 cents. It's really cool. I'll put my own logo on it, make it my own. I'll have no competition because it's like, let's just call it Saru's shaker bottles, right? So I buy this bottle and I put like Saru's shaker bottles. I make it really cool. It looks good, right? So I spend about 90 cents for that with the logo. And on the gross end, let's just say I don't want to be the cheapest. And like to me, like based on experience, being the most expensive works out well. But let's just say I want to price it in a median, like average. Now, with all the marketing and with the inner circle and the power of the mastermind, we're all helping each other, giving each other ideas, showing each other what works. The entire 16 video module series that has taken me years to develop, like that's walking you through processes. Most things are a process, but I can't tell you what to buy, but I'm giving you an example. So that same 1,500, I might be able to buy $1,700, right? I have $1,500 or 90 cents each. I'm using rough math. Maybe 1,650 to 1,700 shaker bottles I could buy. Let's just say I go $9.99. I do all the marketing, everything that I teach in the system. So let's say I sell those out. Now, that's going to be $15,000 in gross sales. Now, after the FBA fees, and we have FBA calculators, we show you how to figure out what your net will be. But just for the sake of giving an example, let's just say, I don't know the exact numbers, but let's say I netted back 4,000 on that. Let's even say it was 3, right? But now that 3,000, I'm going to keep that brand going. So I'll take some of that profit, rebuy more of the shaker bottles because I've learned the formula. I learned how to sell them. I started building my brand. I've private labeled. Saru's shaker bottle starts taking off, right? So, but now I'm going to start looking at my next product, like what complements that shaker bottle. And, when we're doing these shows, it's kind of hard to show everything because normally we're on the computers, we're showing them like screen by screen, exactly what to do, how all this works. But we're talking in terms of an overall picture. Now I might get something that complements that. There was also these really cool jump ropes, right? Like, so I might do the jump ropes now. Second, let's say I'm starting all over, but I have, Mike as the mentor, and I have my entire inner circle of comrades, people that I've done this, that are in the same place as me, that are also launching products, talking about not just successes, but stumbling blocks they had. That's the power of a mastermind. And that's why when you go to onlinesecrets.com, it's only an application because we need a strong group. The 1,000 people that are in the inner circle right now, these are all people that have applied, that we know that they're not just looking to benefit themselves, but also help others. Because that's what's important. A mastermind is, you give more than you receive, meaning you're willing to help people, give advice on what you would do if you were them, because people need to hear that.
So after you've sold those shaker bottles and you reinvested money into the new order, but also now you're looking at new products as well.
That's right, because now I'm in a different position financially, right? Because I've sold those shaker bottles, I've learned the process, I've gone through it. So now I might invest in something a little bit more expensive, right? And that's what this is all about. But what people aren't grasping is that when you start this, you're thinking, how do I ship it? How do I do all this?
And this is the most exciting part of it all, because just like, the Amazon Product Finder and all these tools that we have, Amazon FBA is really one of the biggest tools you can use.
That's right. And that's what people don't understand, right? Because they're thinking like, I have customer service I have to do, handle shipments, handle returns, handle all those small things.
I couldn't imagine doing any of that.
I would not be doing this right now if I had to do that. And that's what's so cool about Amazon FBA. People don't realize all you have to do is you find the right product, which is really easy. I mean, and we spent a lot of time talking about that, but what you need to know is the end result is that you find the right product based on the training, based on what we teach. And then all they have to do is send it to Amazon, and Amazon takes care of everything. They receive the shipment. They store the shipment. They ship it out. They sell the product for you. They handle customer service. They handle returns. They handle the entire process. Selling well over 30,000 supplements alone, I never talked to a single customer. Like, isn't that cool, right? Who could sell 30,000 of anything and never talk to a customer? Yeah, and we've touched on this in the past, but the thing is that a lot of people still don't realize, and that's why we get so many questions from people asking us, what do I do? Like, what people do I hire? How do we actually get this going? And that's one of my favorite things is you could be a one-person show. All you need to do is go through the process. We'll help you find the product. We'll help you source it in China. We'll help you ship it to the US. We'll help you get it to not just ship it to the US, get it all the way to Amazon. We'll help you not just get it on the Amazon store, help you market it, help you blast yourself through the Amazon algorithm. Amazon's just an algorithm. How do you spike that algorithm? How do you get on the first page? How do you facilitate more sales? Once you've established that, how do you market your product to the next level? How do you get it shipped out? Amazon fulfills all of that. That's why it's called FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. For anyone that's watching right now, we have really cool training videos showing you exactly what to do step by step. If you want to apply to be part of the Inner Circle, you don't even have to apply. If you just want to check out our free training videos, check out how all this stuff works, just go to amzshow.com. All you have to do, enter your first name, your email, and we'll meet you on the other side. We have totally amazing training videos that walk you through how do you get started, what are the basics, and ultimately, if you want to join our Inner Circle and you're open-minded, you're teachable, you're a good contributor, you're someone that has the burning desire and you want to be part of the group, you can apply. You don't have to do that initially. You could just check out the free training videos. But if you want to apply, if you want to join us, lock arm in arm with us in our Inner Circle and the 1,000 people that have joined the Inner Circle, it's by application only. You can apply. Me and Saru, one of us will call you. We'll review it. One of us will call you or someone on our staff. We get a lot of applications. We're only looking for the best of the best. A lot of people we have to turn down right away, but a lot of people, someone will call you. If it's not me or her, someone on our team will call you and see if you're the right fit. If you are, we'd love to have you as part of the Inner Circle.
You are listening to the AMZ Show. If you would like to get our free training videos, go to amzshow.com. Enter just your first name and email address, and we will meet you on the other side. The information presented in this podcast is intended to be for your educational and informational purposes only. None of the statements contained in this podcast should be viewed as a prediction, guarantee, or promise that participating in our recommended programs will result in you generating a certain amount of income or achieving any level of monetary success. Success in any endeavor is based on many numbers of factors, including but not limited to hard work and capital resources. There are inherent risks in any business opportunity, and caution should be exercised before applying our information. You are encouraged to consult with your attorney, CPA, or financial advisor before doing so.